In this next video on the interview process, we will discuss a typical interview day experience. There are 6 common components of the interview day. So first, you will arrive at the dental school and typically be taken to a larger lecture hall where you can mingle with other interviewees as well as faculty and current dental students. The purpose of this part is really just to ease your nerves and have some casual conversations. There are then academic presentations where the school will talk about its curriculum, research, and community outreach. It's important that you take notes during these presentations. If you are fortunate enough to earn multiple dental school acceptances, you will want to reflect back on this information. There is then a dental school tour as well as a Q&A session with current dental students. Next, there are financial presentations where the school will talk about its financial aid and scholarship offerings. Similar to the academic presentations, I highly recommend taking notes on this information. And lastly, we have the interview itself. Here are some tips for the interview day. I recommend planning your commute as to arrive 15 minutes early to the dental school. This will give you some time to compose yourself and get mentally prepared. Also know that the interview starts the moment you step foot on campus. This means that you should remain kind and genuine to all faculty, staff, and students you encounter. Also, feel free to ask questions to current dental students. Most of those students are volunteering their time to be a part of the interview day, and they want to serve as a resource for you. Moving on to some additional tips. When conversing with applicants and dental students, you should remain both positive and thankful. Sometimes when you're talking with someone, you might realize that the only thing you have in common is the fact that both of you are applying to dental school. This does not mean you should brag about accomplishments regarding the admissions process. You are so much more than a dental school applicant, so take that time to learn about them as a person rather than talking about stats and the schools they're applying to. You should also stay engaged and observant throughout the interview day. As I mentioned earlier, if you receive multiple offers, you will want to reflect back on these experiences. Lastly, for open file interviews, not all interviewers have the time to study your entire application. This means that when discussing a specific experience, you should include a brief description beforehand in case they don't remember what you're talking about. On this slide, I've included some final tips regarding interview responses. So for each question, take some time to consider the question and deliver an appropriate response. There's no rush, so explain your experiences and deliver meaningful reflections. You should also prepare specific questions prior to the interview date regarding the dental school or even your interviewer if that's provided by the institution. So for example, let's say your interviewer is heavily involved in stem cell research. You can mention that you read about their research online, then ask your research-oriented question. This shows a greater interest in the dental school as opposed to simply asking, "What's research like on campus?"